Finally, the delay is done. Everything's fixed, and the match is live.
Wow, I like that aggression from David B. He pushes forward, a couple of dink shots, and then confidently grabs the orb. That'll give him another point towards the resurrection. And already the swing from Petitek. He'll take out his alter ego Eccles. They're trying to get this spike down on the A site, but so far it's G2 that are able to push them back, and it's just down to one final player here. Solkas on the raise. He's got the spike in hand, but unfortunately all his friends are dead. He's the last one standing, and he's heading over towards that B site.
They're getting a lot of information. There's that first peek coming in from Petitek that will also give away a little bit more intel. They'll start to rotate over. What they don't realize is there's going to be a pinch. Great paranoia coming in from Petitek to slow things down. Counter paranoia coming out, but it doesn't quite connect. Petitek has to back off as the nades are coming through. Yikes, that's tough to get away from. Solkas peeks as the nade detonates, and it will be site control here for FISH123.
Yep, we'll see a couple of those shots start to ring from Mixwell, but it's Artis from behind stealing that frag onto Eccles. It's still 4 strong here for FISH123. They got to start that retake. Pith alongside Scream are trying to divide and conquer as they push in through lamps. The slow orb will make it difficult for Solkas to get out of here. They're just trying to get a little bit more athletic. Pith, a great slow swing through the orb, and they will just decimate one at a time, player after player. FISH123 looking towards the A site now, and that Stampede tells us they are looking to execute relatively soon. It's a lot of utility used back a site and towards A short from both sides of the attack and the defense, but it's Solkas that wants to get a little bit more involved. That's the showstopper. It'll find its mark onto Artis, and now 4 remain for G2. The defense have arrived. The wall is up. The spike is down, and now it is up to G2 to get that retake underway.
Oh, you've got one holding the showers. Omen gonna take out Link. You've still got the Jet Mixwell on site. David P taking out one through the cyber cage. Gonna find another as well as he walks into the ice, slowly inching towards the U-Haul, where you've currently got the Sage going through and a great paranoia coming out to blind him. It's all up to Eccles in the one-on-many. Managed to take it down to 2, but gets dropped by David P. Pith smoked out in heaven. Link's gonna use that Aldrone to get intel on the site. Cryptics with a quick pick off onto Mixwell, and now they've got some site control. Artis is still here. He's over in U-Haul using shock darts to try and slow things down. Pith behind the smoke ends up putting a camera out. Well, at least get some intel, but the camera taken down almost immediately by Eccles. Eccles has to change positions, and the spray through the wall almost takes him out. He's very low on HP. Artis is still here in U-Haul, still being a problem. David P goes wide with the peak. Cryptics gets another on the round. Pith will chime in finally with the Phantom from Heaven, sending the rays flying to the Netherworld, but it's Artis who has to come up big. He's very low on HP, just 27 remaining, and he's got a 1-on-3. One target is low, but the Sage goes with the wall to his right. All they have to do now is time the peaks out from Shower, and this round is all but unwinnable, so Artis decides to bail out. And they've done what they wanted to do. They pulled a player off of the A-site defense. There's only one here. It's Mixwell, so when the push comes through, it's going to be quite difficult, especially as they have that Omen port available.
Oh, I like that move from the Recon. Bolt, he gets out of position and manages to find the frag. It's Eccles that goes down. The in-game leader, no longer a part of the conversation, but can he call from beyond the grave? The rest of the team starting to funnel in to get that spike down with just 10 seconds left. Imagine if there was an orbital strike right about now. That spike would not be going down. Pith will find one. It's just down to 3 for the side of FISH123, and they are not looking so good here. Mixwell trying to find an opportunity. Thought he saw somebody up there on the box with the boost. It's the Sage. And now G2 will start to funnel in. Solkas in very deep water here as he'll be taken out, but Scream manages to survive long enough to find a 3K. It's all up to...
But right now our eyes are on David P as he goes for the peek into the ice. Solkas will go down, and there is no res available for FISH123, so they'll be working with the disadvantage.
I think they used it last round too, if I'm not mistaken, which means that it's going to be not available for quite some time. David P gets into a little bit of an engagement. Petitek that is there to try to defend the push in from Hookah. Still, FISH123 held up in this bottleneck of B short. While on the opposite side, we do see Eccles getting a little bit more involved on that A side. A couple of trades here. Artis is ready for that push in into lamps from Eccles, and Somehow he's already rotated over towards the A side. I like that call. Quick moving from B all the way over to A after an early pick in the middle. It's just down to 2 for FISH123. They've got the weapons available, but really, how much longer will they survive? Patitek, he sees the barrel of the gun. Wait, did he not see that there? I swear it peeked out through. And now seeing that cyber cage, that'll give the confirmation that someone is there. Someone is lurking around in hookah. Both 2 members remaining. It's going to be very difficult for FISH123 to break open onto this site.
Cage triggered.
They're trying to make their way out. Cryptics will fall first. Scream now on the other side of the cyber cage, just trying to spam away. But not going to connect. Actually, as he goes for an escape route, tagged down and realizing the round is over. Artis again inside hookah. Playing right around the corner. Hoping to survive, but just taken out through the box. They've seen him do it just far too many times. There's one inside the tuna can as well. That's Mixwell going down. Doesn't even get a peek out. So it's up to Pith, who's around the corner, and they just blew the wall trying to get over top of the cyber cage, but Pith gets nothing. So now it's down to 2. A promising look right now from FISH123 as they've made their way onto the site. What can they do, though? It comes down to 1. It's Patitek coming in from spawn. A quick shot onto Solkis through the wall. A dink and a follow-up, actually. And they're currently moving towards the B site, and this would be the right move. You've only got the Sage here. Sova started to rotate out of position, so it's up to David P. as Artis has backed off. There's the ult being popped by Artis for the time being, going a little bit vertical as he pops the Hunter's Fury, but won't actually take anybody out. David P using an aggressive wall. We've seen this time and time again from David P. Loses track of his target inside the smoke, so can't quite connect. But look at this, Mixwell coming in. Shock Dart as well is there. It's down to 2. FISH123 went for the push on B, but it hasn't worked out well for them at all. Echo's going to go for the spike plant on site. Echoes, though, has Mixwell right around the corner. At least Cryptics was able to take him out before that would be a threat, but with the paranoia still active, he goes inside the tuna can and just cannot survive.
But even in that push on towards that B site, David P was like, I've got the cross. Don't worry. If they push in, I'll find 1, I'll find 2. And then when they're looking at David P, all of a sudden, the rest of the team comes in for the crossfire. So FISH123 need to be very careful, but let's see how this push towards A works out.
Oh, no, the timing. That smoke starts to fade. The paranoia, though, going to bail him out as Patitek again inside the showers this time, locking down that portion of the map. The Rays in sight did go for the showstopper. Doesn't really make too much of a difference on the push. Nice shock dart coming out towards Heaven. That'll bring Pith a little bit lower. There's the ult being pumped as well as they know the res came through. Does it take anyone out? No. Link. Actually, yes. Link hits the double pulse onto Mixwell. A peek in towards spawn from Scream. Almost worked on Artis, but he was ready for that and waiting. Great damage dealt. Shock dart in to finish off the last bit of HP remaining. But the spike is currently inside showers, and the attack is a little bit leery of moving into that position. There's David P now coming up from short and bringing things all down to Link. The Sova, we talked about it. Not necessarily an agent he feels as comfortable with as he does the Sage. How does that affect his play here in the 1v3? Eccles, the opposite Omen, struggling at times in that Omen role, has a lot on his plate, being the IGL and the operator player and the Omen. Just a lot of responsibility there. David P went a little bit aggressive with the peek initially, and he gets taken out. Eccles is back sight, and now he's trying to punish as well. There's still one here in position who is Mixwell towards spawn as well, trying to offer up some support, but now it comes down to the man we were just praising, the Omen. A 1-on-5, a third round looking likely here for FISH123. You do worry when you have players like Mixwell and David P on the attack, a player who plays the aggressive Sage quite well. Scream right around the corner, sees that cyber cage come through, tries to fire away on the other side of it, has to dive bomb the box. Mixwell won't allow him, doesn't even see his feet touch the ground. The spike does get planted, significant nade damage coming in from the Rays. Nice smoke from Mixwell to get him out of that position and into a more safe and comfortable spot in the U-Haul. A 5-on-4. But you can see the damage dealt. Sova's on about half HP. Omen very, very close to death. Solkis is going to send the Boombot in first, going right behind it.
Nice
Great paranoia coming out to slow them down. Mixwell will pick one off in the meantime. Another paranoia coming out. This one working out nicely for FISH123. Cryptics goes around the corner, and now it comes down to 1. It comes down to Artis on site. Fantastic retake coming out from FISH123 here in the pistol.
You know, will they have time, though? Oh, they don't! They win the duel, but they don't have time.
we're seeing a recommitment from G2 towards B. So Eccles still going to be in hookah, still going to get challenged, drops off the box. Paranoia is perfect. They know he's around the corner, but it doesn't make a difference. The shotgun is so incredibly powerful. Speaking of shotguns, you've got Link here as well with the Bucky. One through the cyber cage looking for more. Great damage dealt. But now it's Eccles who has to step up. Oh, the dash out from the Jet working out nicely, but it's Cryptix who has survived the round with 3 kills coming in from FISH123.
Make a little noise, and G2 now they're ready for the push in. They'll start to hover in around hookah as Mixwell gets aggressive. It's a wall to stop the push further from Scream, but they'll still get that spike down, and little do they know that wall actually helps G2 in the process. And now it's a weird retake. Echo's going to find one with the operator. That's going to be great, but that wasn't even on the B site. That was the A site, but it doesn't even matter as G2, they fall left and right just down to David P, and he's on the retreat with the Ghost.
You also have the AWP coming in from Eccles, and we talked about that AWP role, whether or not it was going to be a difficult battle for Eccles against Mixwell. To be honest, both players struggling. Eccles and Mixwell not really picking up the performance as the AWP role for either team. The rest of the team has obviously helped boost those performances up. There's the rocket pop coming out from Solcus, so that'll be Artist going out almost immediately. Now they do have the res available on both sides. There's the Boombot going in as well. The question is whether or not they can try and get that res through. So there's the res coming through, but they can't really peek freely on the back of that. Eccles does spot Mixwell as he was holding for the push to come through just in case they tried to stop that res from being a thing. So that Mixwell going down, Eccles immediately traded out. Pushing through is going to be Solcus, and he'll take out Pith. So now it comes down to 2 here for G2. It's David P who's in the U-Haul, peeking wide, and it's down to 1 now. It's the hero who's been fantastic thus far at times. Petit Tech goes ahead and sends some utility towards the site, but then the slow orb makes it incredibly difficult for him to even get out of position. Yet again, stuck behind that box. He was spammed through it a few rounds ago. FISH123 survived with all 5. And it feels like FISH123 just doesn't even struggle in those cases.
And in some of those spike plants, it feels kind of desperate. They're like down to 2, they'll get it down, but they don't have the man advantage to really do anything. But this is a great start for G2, their first man advantage on what I presume a soft buy, not even really having the weaponry to deal with. But that's a great opening. And now Scream picking up this operator. That's going to be a couple of these G2 members that have already pulled off the site. The execute was there. They brought the resources over for the side of FISH123, but now they've got complete control of this B site. And the weaponry tells us it's not the eco. They're locked and loaded, and they want to make this round number 11.
Cast a curse. My bad. It happens, you know? It happens. Shock darts going in. As they get closer and closer to the site, Artist is going to send a high recon dart, trying to get that one in towards spawn. Starts to spray through as the recon dart gets taken out. His position's been spotted, but he's on the other side of the tuna can. Link comes through with the first kill. Another one coming in from Link, and hold on. FISH123 have managed to make it a 2-on-3. David P is lurking around the back end of the play. First one will be his execution onto Solcus as well. And that's the round lost. Now you'll see the rotate over from Artist. It will be a 4-player push up short. No one coming through from showers. Deep smoke coming out, but it's not exactly perfect. There's the camera as well. Solcus is right around this corner, ready to punish. He's got the nade as well. All he has to do is time it nicely, even though he has all that intel somehow, some way. Petit Tech is there as the Omen to punish. Scream wants to use his own wall to get some verticality to peer over the opposite Sage wall, try and find an angle, a line of sight towards the site. Instead, he'll end up falling to Pith. And the defense crumbles here on the A side. It's down to a 3-on-3 retake. Oh,
I like this from Petit Tech. Does he expect it? Oh, Cryptix had no idea. Oh, man, that smoke was so good. And he hit in it perfectly as it dissipated. They didn't even know each other existed until that point. Now it's just down to 2 for FISH123. Does feel like this could be map point for G2, but Eccles, he wants to be a part of the conversation. Down to the 2v2. That spike's ticking, but it's a great swing from David P. Eccles needs to get involved, but he's got the swing. It's not good. It's David P. He takes us to match point for G2.
No. So that could be a problem. The anticipation that there's no one there, and you can see it already works out well for David P. Immediately punished. So they lose the Sage, and they lose David P., which is also important as he's been a top performer for this team at times. Solcus in position, spotted out by the dart. Mixwell hits the quick shot. Eccles spotting out Petit Tech, who tries to get into that better position inside U-Haul, will bring it down to a 3-on-3.
That's going to be the shock dart, trying to clear it out, but unfortunately does not go deep enough still. Like you said, it is the 3-on-3. They try to push in aggressively. Mixwell hopping into lamps. Pith, unfortunately, will be smoked off, and so this might be a lot of space that FISH123 gain. The paranoia to try to stop them from pushing forward. Here's the engagement. The spray's good from Artist. It's the quick trade. Mixwell needs to get out of there, but he hops right back in, gets domed right by Cryptix, and now it's just down to Pith. The swing is good. Now down to the 1v1. It's Link against Pith, and that's going to be the first spray, but it doesn't connect through the box. The clip is starting to run dry, and it's good! It's G2 that win the first map on Bind.
It's the Sage that's made it up very far. And he turns back around to spot his target, but he'll be falling off. And again, it's a weird round coming in from the attacking side of G2. Oh, the wall just comes in a second too late, so Link will get taken out by Mixwell, who waited for that opportunity so patiently. Scream, back of sight, nice flash coming out. He's got 2 targets though coming his direction, and the leaping Artist proves to be too much to deal with. So the spike should be secured, and the site has been lost here. But the retake is already well underway, with bodies already building up in that area. Solkus just sees his teammate go down behind him, and now Pith is there as well. It all falls onto one. It's going to be the Cypher. This round, just very strange. They changed their mind. Look at Cryptix right around the corner with the Bucky. Sees the pistol first, goes for the peek. Second target there. Can't quite get the pulses from that shotgun to connect. And now he's down to 65 HP and stuck in a very difficult position. First shock dart, making a follow-up. Nothing can be done. So now they'll be moving in with the Aldrone. They'll spot the one right outside of main with the Judge. Eccles can't even port out in time. This defense falling pretty quickly here as G2 look to have another strong round. Yes, they've been brought down to 3 in the meantime, and Scream is still in position, but he's playing the breach with a Marshall. So it's not exactly ideal hardware here for Scream. And with the spam shots coming through, he's going to back off, continuing to pop shots down towards Hell, looking for the wallbang kill. Can't quite line it up as of yet. The rest of his team still moving into position. So now one more has come through the window, and there's one also coming in on long. That'll be the Sage with the flank. The Tremor coming out from Breach, from Scream himself. Nice shots onto the site from Solkus with the shotgun. There's more currently in Hell. The Judge is going to have to do the dirty work. There's one right around the corner, and the shotgun is perfect for the scenario.
Now G2 trying to look for another opportunity towards B. It worked last time on the pistol, but will it work again? As FISH123 are denying the push forward. The spray through the HUD actually will take out Solkus. I'm not even sure where Artist was aiming to get that frag, but they open things up with 2 picks, and now FISH123, they have to react.
Cryptix has made it up to spawn. Scream is there as well, and as the smoke comes down, the dark cover doesn't pop quick enough. This will be a solid move, as there is one right around the corner that flushes him out of position straight into Eccles' aim. The pulse is coming out from the ult from Artist, end up working out for at least one. Through the smoke goes David P. Does great damage to Eccles, but afraid to repeak because there is 2 targets there. Now he's moved over towards lane, and there's not much that Eccles can do about that one. It's all up to Cryptix here with the Phantom in the 1-on-2, down to 39 HP. They're both behind the default box. Good double peek coming out from G2. So back and forth we go.
Able to really afford those brand new Jordans on the first day of school. Those assault rifles will be quite handy in the engagement that's about to occur. It's the A-side push. They're looking for an aggressive move in. Eccles, unfortunately, he was looking for the Judge play, but he'll be dealt with quite quickly. Cryptix, one of the last points of contact as he's being flooded, won't even find the quick trade, and another round not going the way of FISH123.
Nice shock dart coming out from Solkus. It was kind of a fadeaway shot, and it works out nicely. The ult being popped as well. The Hunter's Fury couldn't find that second pulse after connecting initially. Good damage dealt here by FISH123, as now the spike goes down. Link's got a line of sight through this wall, and he can actually just walk right around it. And as he tries to peek, he'll end up taking significant damage through the edge of the wall. The recon dart looking to give away some positions. Scream spraying through that smoke. Can't actually hit as the generator is in the way. It comes down to one on the site against one over towards long, and it's David P. It's exactly who you want in that scenario.
Really make this map look and feel very attacker-sided, and we probably can just chalk it up to playstyle as FISH123 get a little bit aggressive on their own front, and we'll take out an early pick from G2.
The ult coming through from Mixwell and dices Link to pieces. Same could be said for Cryptix. Goes up inside the dark cover. Eccles is like, okay, that's enough of that. And as a result, it's now down to 1. It's the Omen. T-Tech, he's on site. Goes for the dark cover towards spawn. Decides to just hide inside of it. Gonna port past. He walks a little bit too far up. Gets spotted as the barrel starts to poke through.
Poised for this round around the middle. Have gained the control, and now Catwalk will be their next target of affection here as they will group up together, and Link is ready with a wall, and that'll stop the push dead in its tracks as the other team may be missing that communication. It's only Pith who really pushes forward, and he's like, guys, where are you? They've already pulled off and head towards the fruit market. They'll get caught by a tripwire. G2 really just scattered this round, not able to really communicate well, and we saw that communication in earlier in the show, how it's a mixed team. You know, the shots aren't being called by one specific person, and in that case, we really felt it with Pith taken out early.
Quick shot coming out from Mixwell onto Eccles with the operator, but the spike, it's going over to a different side of the map. So again, they'll move up towards short. You've got 2 currently playing defense here. You've got Link and you've got Scream. Scream goes down almost instantaneously to David B. The Sage v Sage battle goes the direction of FISH123. Great shots coming out from Link, as well as Mixwell will go down and result in a 2-on-2. Nice res also coming out on Scream to give them the numbers advantage in the retake.
There's going to be the Hunter's Fury from what I assume is Artis. He's going to try to get a couple of tags and maybe even look for a frag. And quite honestly, if he got that there, that would have been huge because they would have nullified the res, but they don't in this case. Artis now having to reposition just down to one final player. It's Petitek.
Currently looking through, seeing if anyone's going to come that direction. Causes a weird coloring effect on that dark cover, which is interesting, but he'll be backing off as they continue to gather up control of grass. They've made it up pretty far. Once they go ahead and break that glass, Eccles is done for.
Yep. You called it, but still it's Scream that is there from behind. They maybe did not anticipate the push up the ramp. And still that spike likely going to go down any moment now. They're going to plant what looks like to be in a new position. Not really behind the generator. And that might be the call for the post plant. You know, they've struggled with it before. Maybe that angle is better for them in holding down that spike. As they get into an engagement with Petitek, they help Scream push up forward, and now it's the man advantage. It's the 4v3. Mixwell in a great position. Shot's going to be clean, and still, I don't know if they closed that door before, but it's still wide open for the defense to funnel in. Regardless, they will funnel in from heaven. And as one, they will get picked off one at a time. Artis gets the penetration from what it looks like to be the wall there. He shoots in from long. Mixwell has a clean shot, and it's just down to Solkus. He drops down.
Well, based on what we saw from them yesterday against NIP, their halves were definitely attack-sided in that series alone, so I'm looking to that series as a bit of a sampler for what we should expect to see from FISH123 in that second half.
And quite honestly, there's only 2 rounds that remain, including this one, as we'll start to see it go the way of FISH123. An early pick from Cryptix as they'll start to push forward, but it's Mixwell. He slices, he dices, he finds 2 frags, but at what cost? His teammates, they're falling all around. It's just Artis that last remains in the 1v3. Has the Hunter's Fury available. Likely not going to use it here, but that spike is down. Sees the one peek behind the generator, and now as he's flashed, he stays close left. Cryptix with the 4K on the round. We're now seeing G2 poised towards Catwalk, and Eccles, he'll be in a little bit of trouble as now they'll start to swing one at a time. Finds one, but it's Scream there with 2, will deny the push forward into the Dream Room. And now it's just down to Artis. Once again, the rolling red carpet is going to come out, and Scream peeks down A long. We'll find that frag onto Artis.
I don't even know. For like not even a minute. It just like disappeared for a second and then came back. But I still could go to some websites. It was like my DNS just died. Regardless, here comes the push towards the site. Artis goes to the burst fire for the first shot. It fans out and doesn't do as much damage as you would expect. Still able to win that 1v1, but Scream is there for the immediate trade. So it's a 4-on-4. Spikes found its way towards the site. And going down inside the muck of that B site, Scream gets peeked by Mixwell, starts to spam through the dark cover. They've got lane control and they've got stairs control as well. They've made their way into the house where they can trigger the door, and you can see the leaping target trying to dodge the shots coming through the wall. Paranoia into the site. Camera gives away their positions. They start to move up closer. Cryptics from back behind the default box, not able to do much, and it comes down to Scream here, trying to get through the door, but the spike's already being stuck, and it's looking like it's going to be around here for G2. There's just too much in his way to stop him from getting back in. Scream, with the great shots, finds a 4K, but at that point, the round was already lost, and G2 pick up the pistol. Some smokes going down on B has pushed some weight in that direction. Pith has to pop the cyber cage as there's targets right around the corner, and they're just going to pour through. First one's going to be his. Super low on HP, decides to go to the sidearm. He's got support from Mixwell, but both players will go down in the end. It's a 3-on-2, and they're going to get that spike over towards the site.
Spike, of course, going to be going down, and while I was really questioning whether some of these force-ups ended up in wins for the side of FISH123, and we are seeing now before our eyes that in a lot of cases it does work. This is the second time that we've seen it really bode well for them, as G2 are struggling to really deal with that force-up. They've got to come in with the weaponry too. No longer can you just hold on to a ghost in the second round and hope to buy an operator on the third. You got to get involved. You got to get active. But how can you read that? You can't. You can't anticipate the opposite team either pistoling or forcing. And so FISH123 constantly bringing it to their opposition, and it nets them around, and that will continue their lead. While at close range, still manages to get the kill onto Mixwell, and now the rest of the team pushing forward together. Eccles, of course, not a part of the conversation anymore. Oh yeah, sorry, he still is. It was the Sova on the opposite side. Solkis that ends up falling, and now they'll push forward. DVP waiting close down below. It's a great cross set up by Artis, but they're still waiting to jump in. It's a great positioning, but David P, he's hesitant on the trigger, and now Artis with 4 on the round. The Phantom that was brought in.
Now, though, it's working out nicely as they've gone back to that comfortable territory. High cam coming in, but there's the Rolling Thunder towards the A site. Surprise, there's actually no one playing defense on A currently. They're back further, so they'll be able to get onto the site, potentially free of charge. Now, Pith will peek out and sprays through to get one, at least towards the door, but the wall goes up, the dark cover is in, and the spike will be planted. And we've got ourselves at a 5-on-4 here. FISH123 have site control, and you can see the Sage is right around the corner. Heal going out as well to try and bring everyone back to full HP.
Oh, wow. Solkis right through the floor. It's the recon bolt that spots Mixwell, and then he capitalizes on that information. They'll still try to push forward by the defense, but now it's just down to Scream. And all the last that remains is Eccles. He's got to swing around this wall. He does so, but it's Artis that's prepared with a spray from the Phantom. G2, they're still split twice on both sides. Solkis trying to clear out anyone who may be hovering around that A side. But David P, he sees an army pushing in towards the B side. It's the Aftershock that pushes him even further back. And now Mixwell is going to need to get here in time quite quickly as David P's all on his lonesome. How many can he get? Finds one so far, but can he find the second? That'll be the best translation there. He'll find 2. Can he find the third? Cannot. It's Scream. But how long will the team survive here for the side of FISH123? Solkis now incredibly late on the rotation as it's just down to the defense. The Mixwell swing will work out well for him. And as Solkis peers into the site, Patizek, though, will be one of the first contact points alongside Pith towards this A side. They've got tripwires set up with that recon bolt, about to make it very difficult. As how do you react? There's a red carpet being rolled out, but the Paranoia is at least a decent answer, but still they will lose one in the process. It's Scream that pushes forward. Mixwell, he's ready on the side. Patizek is not alone in this battle as Mixwell will provide the firepower at a distance as he pulls back towards Heaven with Artis. 1 kill coming in from Patizek, looking for the second, looking for the third. Patizek, yes! G2 defend yet another push.
FISH123 haven't necessarily gotten onto the site as much, but it's those retakes that are just too strong to deal with. Aggression coming out yet again, and it is punished as there's trades going in both directions. We'll have one player who's currently sitting on the sidelines. Link is pushed up mid towards Market. Mixwell doesn't even see it coming, so assassinated by the Sage, but there's another kill coming out from Artis, who's spamming away. He's got some support coming in from the Omen as well, and it's another one! Brings it down to Eccles with the Bulldog. Backside of Market, gunned down by Biff. That's 12 rounds now for G2.
This could be the last and final round for FISH123. It's
an early advantage, at least, for FISH123. Somehow it works out nicely for them. And there's David P, though, chiming in with 3 of his own. David P with a solid defense, but it's a bounce back coming in from FISH123. Don't count him out of it yet, as they found themselves in a 2-on-2. But as I say that, Scream tries to flash and gets gunned down through the wall. It's all up to Solkas, the Sova, to keep things going. First peak not going to be his. It will be G2, your champions here of the WePlay Valorant Invitational.